How's it going, everybody? My name's Release Radar, and today's video we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today we're going to be reacting to setups. So I had some friends of mine on Discord send in their setups, and I'm going to be taking a full comprehensive look and breakdown at every single setup that was sent to me. That's why this video is so long. So if you're featured in this video, I will have it cut up. If you want to skip to specifically your part, you can, or if you just want to watch the whole thing, you can. So drop a like, subscribe if you enjoy this kind of stuff. I typically do reviews and YouTube shorts and stuff like that. This is a different kind of video here on the channel. So if you like it, please let me know down in the comments below. And let's go ahead and start looking at some setups. So this is Nick's setup. Nick is a pretty good friend of mine. I've known him since, God, I want to say like 6th grade. It's been a long time. But here is his setup. He unfortunately did not send a close-up picture of his computer, but we're going to start out with just the general vibe of the setup. So let's just go ahead and take a look at what we have here. Cables could be cleaner, I'm not going to lie. Trash can. I'm a huge voucher for this because I also have a trash can right next to my setup. And let me tell you, it just helps your setup look way less cluttered because he has a water bottle right there, but it actually looks like that has water in it. So whenever you finish drinking your drink, your soda, your beer, your whatever, your water bottle, just throw it away in a trash can. And when you don't have a trash can at arm's reach from your desk, you're not going to get up from your game of Valorant to go throw your shit away. So if you have a trash can next to or under your desk is more likely just to be clean. So I recommend having a trash can next to your desk. You can get a cheap bin from Walmart for like 10 bucks or less. And he has one of those little basket trash cans as well. So trash can under the desk, recommend. So he's got 2 monitors here. One of them is definitely an ultra wide. I'm pretty sure it's 3440 by 1440 ultra wide. I cannot remember for the life of me what stand that is. I think that's Asus ROG, but I'm not 100% sure. And he also has an Acer monitor over here off to the side. Next to the ultra wide, that monitor looks... My dog just sneezed. Next to the ultra wide, that kind of looks really small, but I'm going to guess that's maybe a 27-inch 1080p 60 panel. It's an old Acer monitor. I actually have an old Asus monitor that is mounted above my setup, which is used for monitoring my streaming PC, but we'll get to my setup later. Next up, he has a sock as a pop filter. Nick, I know you have the money to go get a pop filter. They're really cheap. They're on Amazon. You can find one specifically for your microphone. You got the Yeti Nano under there. So please go buy an actual pop filter and don't use a sock. It looks so stupid. But moving on. His cable management isn't perfect, and his chair is kind of blocking all of the cables. So I told people not to hide their cable management, but whatever. And his computer here is built in, I believe this is the Fantex Inthu case. It's a really nice case. It's actually designed to build 2 systems in one case. But I believe he just has 1 system in there. But that 1 system he has is pretty powerful. I think he has about 12 or something terabytes of storage, and he has an RTX 3070, I believe, and one of the higher end Intel CPUs, and about 32 gigs of RAM. I'm pretty sure that's what the nature of his setup is. His username is Silentelecast, so if he wants to comment on this video and let me know his actual specifications of his build, you are more than welcome to inform the people what kind of specs you're actually rocking, but we can't see inside of your case in this picture, unfortunately. All right, there's one final thing I want to talk about the setup before we move on to the next one, and that is I think this setup just needs something on the wall. The walls feel very empty to me. So, Nick, if you're watching this video, the one thing I would do if I was you is just get some poster. I can tell by your wallpaper on your computer that you like cars and jets, and by the motorcycle helmet, you also probably like motorcycles. So, if I was you, I would get a poster or a display or something on your wall of a car or a jet or a motorcycle. Just something to just make the wall seem a little bit less empty. Manage your cables and maybe get a monitor arm or something for this monitor to the side. Flip it into portrait mode and get it more lined up with your main monitor and no longer use a sock for a pop filter. And I think the setup would look awesome. So put some stuff up on your walls, clean up your cables, and try to get this monitor to match a little bit more with the one in the middle. And I think the setup has some excellent potential. Let's move on to the next one. All right, next up we have Grant, and Grant has been a friend of mine for a long time. He's kind of a shit poster, but he's overall a pretty good dude, very talented drummer. I've done a couple guitar covers with him on my other channel. I will have that link down below if you want to check some of them out. I'll have a playlist linked. But this just looks like your standard college student setup. You know, I had a setup pretty similar to this not too long ago before I embraced several monitors. So, trash can under the desk. Once again, it just, notice how there's no trash on his desk because he has a trash can under his desk. I will die on this hill. Having a trash can next to your desk is awesome. It looks like he has some wall art up. He has a drum head right there and then a Nirvana poster. One of my critiques of Nick's setup is that his walls are pretty empty. So just having some stuff up on your walls makes this setup feel just more cozy, more alive, and adds more personality. So taking a look at his monitor here, this looks like a curved, I can't see the branding. Oh, yes, I can. That's MSI. So this is probably an MSI Optics curved monitor. His wallpaper is really funny. These are really nice monitors. I actually used to own one of them. So MSI Optics gaming monitors, they're great. He has a Google Wi-Fi mesh connection off to the side. These are fantastic if you live in a house that has spotty internet connection in different rooms. What you can do is link up one of these to your main router and then have one of them in different points of your house that have bad network connection. And it's called a mesh network. And basically it just makes the entire network just fast and more reliable all throughout the house. These things are awesome and they just help internet throughout the house, especially if you live in a larger home. It just means there's no real dead spots. So Google Wi-Fi mesh network things, huge voucher for them. I love them. Another gamer chair. Looks like he has the lumbar support over there and the headrest. Chair looks a little dirty. I can't tell if it's just torn up or something, but maybe it's, I know he has a lot of dogs, so it could just be dog hair or something, but chair looks like it's seen better days. He's got 2 hard drives just sitting on his desk. They're not plugged in. I don't think he would have random hard drives on, like, plugged in on the side. And I like how, oh, I actually just noticed this. So he has a Google Home and he has the Google Wi-Fi thing on little brackets outside of the desk. So there's not much clutter on the desk as well. Judging by the shape of this pop filter, I'm going to guess he's using a blue snowball. That was actually my first microphone when I started PC gaming. So great mouse. And he actually has pretty similar peripherals to me. So I'm not using my G915 right now, but this is a G915 10 keyless keyboard. Excellent keyboards. It's wireless and it's super tactile. In fact, I can grab mine right now. These keyboards, this is the G915 full keyboard, so it has the number pad. So it's not the 10 keyless, but these keyboards are wireless and just listen. Super clicky. I love these keyboards. They're awesome. But I'm actually building a custom keyboard at the moment with my friend Kyle. So I will have a review of that keyboard coming soon as well. But he's got a desk pad, a Corsair desk pad. I actually don't have a desk pad. I want one, but I'm using a PowerPlay mouse pad that charges my mouse as I use it. And a desk pad just won't work with what I use. But desk pads are really cool. So he's rocking the G915 10 keyless. He's got the Logitech wrist rest. I actually also have that wrist rest. And then he's using the G502 Lightspeed wireless mouse. Hands down, same mouse I'm using is right here. One of my favorite mice ever. I love the G915 or G502, excuse me, and having it wireless is awesome. And my setup allows me to charge the mouse as I'm using it. It also looks like he has a 3DS on his desk here. I can't really tell what that is. At first I thought that was an audio interface, but his microphone's a USB microphone and it's plugged directly into his computer. So he has a 3DS, I guess, and then he also has one of the newer white Xbox Series X controllers. So this is all around a very cozy setup. You know, it's definitely very simple, minimalistic, one monitor. You know, you got your 10 keyless keyboard, you got your wireless mouse, and that's just the desk, and that's all you really need. In terms of upgrades, I believe this monitor arm probably has a slot for another arm, and if it does, if I was him, some upgrade I would add in the future is just a second monitor. Or if you want to embrace just one monitor and never have 2 monitors, an ultra wide as one primary display would be a lot nicer in my opinion over a just one 16:9 panel. But overall, this is a pretty good, pretty chill setup. And I would consider this to be your average gamer setup. Unfortunately, we don't have a close-up picture of the PC, so I can't see what the specs are. It looks like it's an NZXT H510 case. I've built in this case several times, very easy to build in. It looks like it also might be a pre-built due to that sticker right in the middle right there. But I don't know what his specs are. Grant, if you want to let us know what your specs are, you can also comment down below. Thanks for submitting your setup. Let's move on to the next one. All right, up next, we have my friend Charity. So one thing that I will notice, and you will probably notice too, right off the bat with this setup or setups like this, is that it is very uniform and very clean. She has a very clear color scheme, and it's white and pink. And her desk and her chair and her keyboard and her desk pad and her headphones and the RGB inside of her computer, the lights behind the setup, everything just brings this color theme together. And I love a setup with a good theme. So in terms of overall vibes and aesthetics, I think this is the best setup we've looked at so far. So she is using a DownX gamer chair, which actually has a footrest that comes out and you can prop your feet up on. I've been to her apartment before. I've sat in this chair. It is super comfortable, and I'm jealous because my chair doesn't have a damn footrest. So that is really cool. And so in terms of peripherals, it looks like she has a Razer Death Adder mouse. I actually used to use a Razer Death Adder, but this one looks white. And the RGB is probably also set to purple or pink. She's using I think this is actually the Razer microphone. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like a pinkish, whitish microphone as well. I think the setup would look a lot cleaner if she had a white mic arm. And she doesn't even necessarily need to go out and buy one. If she wanted to, Charity, if you're watching this video, you could just paint your mic arm and have it be whitish pink, and it would just blend in more naturally with the setup. But also it does complement the black bezels of your monitor, the black on the webcam, and the black of your PC case. So if you wanted to keep it like this, you could, but I do think painting it white would look a lot cooler, but that's just my opinion. In terms of keyboards, it looks like she has custom keycaps. They look like they're pink keycaps, and I cannot tell what keyboard this is, but it does have a wrist rest attached to it, which is awesome. She has a smaller desk pad here that is also RGB, and she looks like she has those RGB set to purplish pink as well. In terms of monitor, she has two displays. They both look like they're about 27-inch. I'm going to guess 1440p displays. Maybe they're 1080. I'm not 100% sure. And I can't really tell what brand these monitors are, but that's fine. I do think having the silver here does kind of throw off a little bit of the pink and white vibe, but there's not much you can do about that. You know, you're not going to go out and buy a monitor just because it's white. You're going to go out and buy a monitor because you like the specs it has. That is fine. She has the Razer. I cannot remember for the life of me what this headset's called, but it's the one with cat ears on it, right? And so she's got the RGB cat ears, the pink headset. She's got the headphone stand as well, which is nice. Her cable management underneath her desk seems to be very clean and very uniform. However, there is a little bit of clutter on top of the desk. A very easy way to fix this would to be, and I understand not wanting to do this, but drilling a hole into the bottom of your desk so you can route the cable for the desk pad. You can route the cable for the keyboard, the mouse, the headset, all that stuff you can route under the desk, along the wood, and then up into the computer so it's just not visible. But it looks like this really long cable right here might actually be her headset cable, so you can't really do anything about that. But overall, I really like the aesthetics of this setup. It's very uniform, and the cable management under the desk just appears to be super clean, and I like this little corgi pillow that's just looking at me. So she also sent us a picture of her computer. This is what the inside of her build looks like. It is an iBuyPower pre-built system. It has an MSI Aereo graphics card. I believe, if I can recall correctly, this is like a 1060 or a 1070. She's got 16 gigs of RAM. This looks like Corsair RGB RAM, and she also has a Corsair AIO. I'm pretty sure she has an Intel CPU, not sure what the exact specifications are. She's got a 970 EVO SSD as well as two other Western Digital drives down here. And the cable management looks pretty good for a pre-built. And the only thing I would really change about her computer is maybe getting a white case. And in terms of just the overall vibe of her setup, I would just get rid of all the black and the silver and everything non-white and just replace it with white and pink stuff. Because I personally think the setup would look a lot cleaner if she had a white microphone arm, a white and pink PC case, and maybe a monitor arm holding up the two monitors so they're more level. And maybe you paint the frames of your monitor that are visible and you have a white and a pink bezel on your monitors rather than just a black one. But I just think changing up some of the colors would just bring the whole vibe of the setup together more. But overall, Charity, I really like your setup. It's way cleaner and way more uniform than the setups we've looked at so far. Thank you for submitting it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, next up we have Ghost Marine 14, and he is a friend of mine on Discord as well as everybody else so far, and this is the only picture of his setup he sent. I don't know anything about his specs. I don't know anything about anything. So I'm just going to break this down from what I can see. So first of all, MSI, that looks like one of their older optics monitors, great displays. It looks like this one's probably 1920 by 1080. So 1080p, I think it's 144 hertz, maybe even 165, but I think this one's 144 hertz. So solid monitor, solid refresh rate, very competitive. That might be one of the smallest mouse pads I've ever seen in my life. There's a can right there for scale. That mouse pad is like the size of 2 cans on their sides. That's a small ass mouse pad, and he's got his keyboard in a pull-out drawer, which means he's gaming with his hand down here on the keyboard and his other hand up here reaching across for the mouse. And I understand the pain of having one of those keyboard pull-out drawers, because my old desk at my old house, it was like one of those things where the desk was actually kind of like integrated into the building. So it came with a pull-out drawer, and I have really long legs. I'm 6'3". So what I had to do, I couldn't comfortably sit at my setup space with the pull-out drawer there. I had to take the pull-out drawer out, because I also couldn't imagine using that for my keyboard because it was down really low. So I would have had to have my arms down even below the arms, the lowest point of the arms on my chair could go, if that makes any sense, to reach that. So that was just unbelievably uncomfortable. So what I would do if I was you, get a bigger mouse pad. They're like $5, depending on what you want. You don't need to get one with crazy RGB, especially if you get a cloth mouse pad. I mean, you can probably go to a pawn shop or something and find something super cheap. Get a bigger mouse pad and put your keyboard up on the same level as your mouse. I mean, that does not look comfortable at all. Unfortunately, this is the only picture I got from Ghost Marine, so I can't break down his computer build or talk about his cable management. His cables are hidden by the pull-out drawer, so I can't talk about that, and he has no picture of his computer. If you're still, I know this is an old picture, Ghost Marine, but if you're still playing like that, how are your arms? I'm sorry, that looks so uncomfortable. I would really put that keyboard up on the same level as the mouse and get a bigger mouse pad. And if you're worried about desk space, because it does look like you are using a smaller desk, you should get a monitor arm for that monitor, so your monitor stand is not taking up space on the desk, which opens up room. With what little room you have, it opens up more room for you to get a bigger mouse pad and put your keyboard up on the desk, right? Because then you don't have to worry about the monitor base/stand being in the way. Because I used to have a monitor that had this exact same physical frame. So I know how long these legs go out, or these feet go out for this monitor stand. So honestly, Ghost Marine, if I was you, and I know this is kind of an old picture, but if I was you, I would get rid of the monitor stand, put it on a monitor arm, and that clears out all of this space for you to use on your desk. Get a bigger mouse pad and put your keyboard up on top of the desk, and then get rid of the pull-out drawer. And in case you are tight on funds, or you just simply don't want to spend a bunch of money, which I completely understand, you can get on Amazon a monitor arm and a really good mouse pad for $46. And this is a $14 mouse pad, so you don't even have to get a $14 mouse pad, right? You can get some of this stuff even cheaper, but these are quality products, and for $46.99, you get a good quality monitor arm and a good quality mouse pad, and you just put your keyboard up on your desk and you get rid of that pull-out drawer, and I think that would do wonders for your setup. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope this just helps you get more value out of the space you have. And let's go ahead and move on to the next setup. All right, next up we have Julia, or JVLIA, a content creator on Twitch. She has about 10,000 subscribers, or followers. So if you want to go check her out, her link will be down in the description below. And let's just go ahead and talk about her setup. And as you can tell by a lot of the stuff on her desk, she's a streamer, right? So she's got a monitor in portrait mode, which is probably what she uses to look at chat while she's streaming. She also has a Go XLR Mini, which is powering her Shure SM7B microphone, an excellent microphone and an excellent audio interface. She also has a Stream Deck, and this is the default size Stream Deck. It's not the XL, nor is it the Mini. She has a Canon mirrorless DSLR camera, probably plugged into an Elgato 4K cam link on the back of her computer, so she can use this camera as a webcam while she streams. On top of her main monitor, she has a webcam that points down, and this is probably a overhead camera so people can see her hands while she's playing on keyboard and mouse. Just so it's like a mouse and keyboard cam pretty much. She also has this thing right here, this silver whitish blue thing. I don't know what the hell that is. So if you know what it is, let me know down below. If you're watching Julia, let me know down below. I have no idea what this thing is. And she also has this right here. I'm not sure what this is either. She has a very fancy mic arm, and I actually really like this microphone arm, but I have no idea what this company logo is. But it looks really, really, really sturdy. And she also has a pair of SteelSeries. I think this is the Arctis 3 wireless headsets. And up here underneath her Amazon Alexa, she has the amp that powers these headphones, or at least I believe that's what that is. So very, very popular headphones. I've actually seen a lot of people who have these headphones on Twitch recently. And also in terms of popularity, she has 2 MSI monitors. So this is another setup with MSI monitors we've seen today. We've seen quite a few. So these look like MSI curved 1440p monitors. They're probably each about 144 hertz, or maybe even 165, because I know she streams games like Valorant, so high refresh rate really does matter in those games. Really clean cable management, and once again, trash can under the desk. I will die on this hill. She also has a mini fridge, which her computer is sitting on top of, and we'll get to the computer in a little bit. She's sent me a couple of pictures here. But it looks like she has some cans of energy drink or Sprite or something in the mini fridge, as well as a water bottle and what looks like orange juice. I've never seen somebody have orange juice handy on their setup. So if you could let us know why that's there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you just really like orange juice. You drink it out of the bottle? Do you pour it into a glass? You know, I mean, I don't judge. I drink orange juice out of the bottle too. So to each their own, right? But in terms of peripherals, she has a custom keyboard. Don't know what keyboard this is, but she also has custom keycaps on it. She has a Razer Death Adder mouse and an Apollo desk pad. And I think her setup probably is the cleanest setup we've seen so far in this video. So, but because of that, I am going to nitpick just a little bit because I'm trying to critique every setup and give ways that I think the setup can improve. That's kind of the whole gist of this video, right? I'm breaking setups down and trying to help my friends figure out ways that they can improve their setup without spending too much money as well. So, because your cable management is so good, this really stands out. This is probably a new cable. It looks like it might be the power cable to your ring light right here, but try to run it along the leg of the desk. And then also your mouse cable right here. Maybe get a wireless mouse, but if you don't want to get a new mouse, if you really like this one, I completely understand. I didn't change my mouse until I found out that there was a wireless version of the G502 because I love the G502 so much. So if there isn't a wireless Death Adder mouse, which I'm not 100% sure if there is, maybe drill a hole under your desk right here and feed the cable under the desk and then up into the computer so you don't just see the cable flat lying all the way across the desk like that, right? And as I said, I'm just kind of nitpicking because your setup is so close to perfection that minor things really do stand out, right? If all of your cables were a mess down here, this one wouldn't bother me at all. But because it's so clean, I can really notice this cable right here. So just try to line that along one of the legs and just try to hide it a little bit better. But another thing that I would do, and this is just me, as you can tell, I really enjoy RGB. So something I would do to this setup is add an RGB strip along these hexagon panels. And I didn't talk about these yet. I assume these are sound absorbing panels for just like reducing echo and stuff while you're streaming. I have a bunch behind my setup as well. So just aligning these with a strip of RGB that go perfectly along the edges of it, I think would just look cool. But that's me. I'm a sucker for RGB, but your setup really doesn't have that much of it. So maybe you're not a huge fan yourself. But once again, these are just small ideas I have that you can use to improve your setup without spending too much money. So maybe drill a hole in the bottom of the desk to run that cable to hide it, and then put some RGB along these hexagon sound absorbing panels. Now we're just going to go ahead and take a look at some other pictures she's sent. So she's got a little friend supporting her from up top while she's gaming. I appreciate that. I still don't know what the hell this is. Maybe this is a speaker? I think this is a speaker. Okay, I'm going to say this is a speaker. I'm not 100% sure. And then that looks like maybe a drawing pad for like drawing emotes and stuff, but I genuinely don't know. Here's her setup from another angle. Her primary display, her SM7B custom keyboard. We can get a better look at that now. Those are really interesting keycaps. Her Stream Deck seems to be very well organized as well, so that's good. It looks like she has her... Is that her bitrate? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that button is, but she has a music pause, play, skip, a bunch of... She has an icon for Valorant, emotes and stuff, so it looks like her Stream Deck is very well organized. I can appreciate that. And she even went the extra length of color coding her Stream Deck and her Go XLR so it matches kind of the reddish vibe she has going on with the setup. And that brings us to the picture she sent us of her computer. So really quickly before I talk about that, I do want to touch on the fact that she also has a Nintendo Switch up here, and I don't see a capture card on your desk. So If you're interested in streaming console games from a PS5, an Xbox One, or a Nintendo Switch, you should get a Elgato HD60S Plus. It is an external 4K 60 capture card, and you can use that just to stream console games. So if Breath of the Wild 2 comes out on the Switch, which I'm pretty sure it will, if you wanted to stream that and your chat could watch you play it, you would need a capture card. So maybe in terms of just thinking about content creation, because I know you have about 10,000 followers, maybe investing in something like a capture card so you can stream console gameplay as well would just add another level of production to your content. And so let's just go ahead and take a look at your computer. I think this is probably one of the cleanest computer builds I've ever seen. So you got a little Funko Pop figurine in there. I'm not sure who this is, but this seems to be a very popular trend of putting figurines in your computer that I just don't follow. But if it's something you're interested in, that's cool. So it looks like she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Corsair LL120 RGB fans. And this one right here is an AIO. It looks like she has a 240mm AIO on top right here. She has a set of that same RAM that I think Charity had, the Corsair RGB RAM. You're on a Gigabyte Aorus motherboard. It looks like you have a M.2 SSD right there, as well as a GeForce RTX card. This looks like one of the last generation. I don't think this is a 30 series. I think this is probably like a 2060 or a 2070. But as far as I know about the content she streams a lot of Valorant, and you don't need a 3090, for example, to play Valorant, right? I mean, it's Valorant. It's designed to run on a potato, just like CSGO. So, but I really do think this computer build is clean, and it really matches the white and red, just general vibe it looks like she's going for at her setup, which is why I think adding some RGB along these hexagon panels, which are white, and setting those RGBs to red would look really freaking cool. But once again, I'm just also a sucker for RGB. So I think this is probably the cleanest setup we'll see in this video today. Thank you so much, Julia, for submitting. And let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, lastly, we have Micah setup. This is the last setup we're going to be looking at. And I'm sorry for making you follow up Julia, Micah, because yikes. So we're going to start out by talking about his peripherals, what he's rocking, and his computer and everything. And then I'm going to just break down everything I think that I could have him do to make this setup just look way less cluttered and just way more clean. All right. But before we do that, we are just going to talk about his peripherals and what he's rocking. So he has a Blue Snowball microphone on the newer, I believe that's the newer mic arm, with a pair of, I believe, Audio-Technica studio grade headphones. So that's awesome. He has a Star Wars themed Razer 10 keyless keyboard. That's also pretty freaking cool. This might be the Huntsman, but I don't know. He has a Corsair wireless mouse on the Halo 2 Anniversary mouse pad. Actually, no, that's not a wireless mouse. I just realized that. There's a wire right there. So he has a Corsair mouse on a Halo 2 Anniversary mouse pad and a pair of THX speakers. He also has 2 lights, one clipped right here and one clipped right here, and a Logitech webcam, as well as I saw this UNSC dog tag right there. I appreciate the Halo and Star Wars fandom. I'm a big fan of both of those myself. His computer is a little dirty, but we're going to talk about what I think he can do to fix his setup in a little bit. It looks like he has a Founders Edition GeForce RTX card. I believe this might be a 2080 Super, a 2080 or a 2070 Super or a 2070. It is the Founders Edition, but I have no way of telling what exactly it is. And from the picture he sent of his computer, this is about all I can tell. I don't know how much RAM, what AIO, how many fans or anything. It looks like it might just be 3 fans, one right here, which looks like it's an AIO, and then one right here. So this looks like it might be an HP Omen pre-built computer. But we're going to talk about now what I think he can do to declutter this space. The first thing I really noticed is that this monitor is kind of brushed off to the side and off. So if this monitor doesn't work anymore, get rid of it. Get it off your desk. It's taking up unnecessary space. The next thing I would do is just get everything off the desk, wipe it down, and with the stuff that's peeling right here, I would get maybe a sheet of construction paper or just something to cover that up so you can't see it peeling anymore. Then I would put everything back on the desk. I would put your display, if this scenario is if this HP display doesn't work, I would put this display in the middle and just kind of declutter everything. Also, I don't know why you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clips right here. Maybe don't have those on your desk unless you use them for something. But I don't know what the hell you would be using these for on your desk unless you have a snack supply under your desk and those are just chip clips or whatever. But so I would get everything that's not essential off the desk. So these cans, these bottles, this Overwatch tracer shot glass, your box of matches, your little folded paper, your pocket knife. I would get all of that off the desk as well as this HP monitor. If it doesn't work, I would move your, hey, look at that, another MSI monitor over to the middle, and then we will start talking about what you can do under the desk. So once you declutter the top of your desk and cover up the peeling wood right here, I would move your computer out from underneath the desk up on top of the top part of the shelf. So I would move your little bucket of pens, your little mini alcohols, your coins, your vitamins. I would move all that stuff off the very top shelf and put your computer up there instead. So it gets your computer off the floor. And then also, before you move your computer up there, I would take the side panel off of it and get a can of compressed air and just spray all the dust out of that. Get all the dust out. Because, I mean, I can see a visible layer of dust building up on top of your graphics card. It is important to keep the inside of your computer clean. Now, fortunately, it looks like the power supply is off of carpet. It's on one of these little chair pad things under here. But I would take the computer side panel off and just air it out. And then I would put the computer up on this shelf right here. The next thing I would do is get all of those cables you have on the ground, get a little cable bracket, and if this makes any sense, literally just put all that stuff under the desk. So get a cable bracket. I'll have a picture on screen right now of what I'm talking about, and just get a cable bracket and just put that under the desk. So you get all that cable clutter. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it just gets it all off the floor, and you can actually put your feet there, right? So it just gets it all out of the way. And so with that, I think your setup would look a lot better if your computer was up on top of the shelf. You had all this clutter off of your desk. You cleaned off your desk. You got rid of this monitor that doesn't even seem to be working. And I just think those are some simple steps you could do just to declutter and make your setup just feel a lot nicer. Now, if this HP monitor does work, what you could do is get a little clip and flip it into portrait mode. And I'll have a link in the description to something you can buy off of Amazon, which I actually used to do this with, and I'll have a picture of my setup right here that I did this with. I actually had an HP monitor that did not have a VESA support on it. So what I did is I used a little clip and flipped it portrait, and I basically used this little clip thing to hold the monitor in place and basically turn it portrait mode, even though it didn't have any VESA mount support. So that's something you could do with this monitor if it does not have VESA mount support, because it looks like it might be an older HP display, and that's exactly what my monitor that I clipped was. It was an older HP display. So those are just some steps I think you could do just to clean up your desk, you know, clean it off, get all the clutter off of it, get rid of everything that doesn't work. I just think your space is a little too cluttered for my liking, but as I said earlier, it might just be what you call organized chaos, and you might know where everything is, and you might like having quick access to your alcohol and your vitamins and your chip clips or whatever, right? But I feel like the setup would look a lot better if you cleaned up this tear right here by covering it up with something, cleaning off the desk, getting rid of all the stuff on the desk that you don't need, and putting your computer on top of that shelf. And that'll do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this different kind of video here on the channel. I usually don't do stuff like this. I usually just primarily do reviews, but this is something I've just kind of wanted to do for a while. So if you enjoyed the video, let me know. Leave a comment down below. If you want me to react to your setups, I will also have a link to my Discord in the description. Go to my Discord, go to the setups tab, drop pictures of your setups, and drop your specs for your computer and everything, and maybe I'll react to community setups in the next video. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Release Radar, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Adios.